Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Kashif Kamran and a very warm welcome to the SBL webinar to success for exams in June 2022. Now, just before I start on with the proceeding of this webinar to success for June 22 exam, I would just like to quickly introduce myself as a tutor. Now, in terms of my tutor profile, I am Kashif Kamran, a fellow chartered certified accountant. It's been 14 years since I am teaching the ACCA qualification, and my specialization lies in not just the AA and AAA paper, but also the strategic business leader paper. And I am teaching the SBL paper since it started in September 2018. My associations currently, I am the owner and head the Online Lecturer Academy, and I'm more into the online teaching these days. I'm also associated with PAC, which is a gold approved learning provider of ACCA in Lahore, Pakistan. And I'm also associated with the Civet College in India. I've conducted multiple webinars, more for AAA, and I recently started conducting webinars for SBL. It's been like 14 webinars I've conducted for AAA on behalf of ACCA Pakistan. And I conducted a December 21 webinar to success for SBL, and this will be my second SBL webinar in order, the June 22 webinar. And I just want to make the SBL webinars as regular as the AAA webinars from this point onwards. For every exam setting, I'll be doing a webinar for SBL. I'm also a registered mentor for the Oxford Brookes University Research Analysis Project. You can follow me on the social media because that's extremely important, because a lot of time the student want to get to the tutor, but they don't exactly know the tutor presence on the social media. I'm on the Facebook. You can follow the links given. I'm on the Instagram. I'm on the LinkedIn, on the YouTube, where particularly this webinar will be uploaded. So you should be knowing my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Kashif Kamran, and you can access videos of this webinar and the previous one. You can email me any queries for SBL at sblkashifkamran@gmail.com, and you can WhatsApp me at my WhatsApp number given if you have any queries before your exam papers. Okay, now let's move on and let's start with objective of this webinar, the pass rates and the paper format, because I just need to ensure that we have a holistic view of SBL before we get to the day one agenda. So just 14 days away from the exam, let's look at the objective of this webinar, which is being held just 2 weeks before the exams are scheduled for June. The objective is to provide you the right direction to pass the SBL exam, a direction which is closer to the examiner mindset, because I believe this is the key. The more closer you are to the examiner mindset, you will pass the SBL paper. But you need to understand what exactly is the examiner mindset. And are you meeting the expectations of the examiner when you are preparing yourself and when you are delivering the actual paper on the day of exam? So I need to guide you about the examiner mindset, and then we need to do a variance analysis, how closer we are to the examiner mindset to pass the upcoming SBL exam. These sessions over the next 5 days will be a mind opener for all of you as they provide you the right tips and techniques to control the SBL paper, because I believe this is the time which needs the fine tuning. And this fine tuning at this point in time is extremely important for all the SBL students. This webinar to success will also mitigate your misconceptions or myths you have about SBL. You must have developed some wrong misunderstandings or myths about SBL. That needs to be addressed as well, because you need a clarity to transform your efforts into success. But if you don't have clarity, even you're doing efforts, the efforts will not result into success. So that's the agenda. That's the objective of this particular webinar to success. The pass rates are very healthy for SBL. On average, 50% students pass the SBL paper in the first exam sitting. And that's exactly what you can see right in front of your screen currently, except for the dip of 46%. The 46 is not a big decline. In terms of the 50 and 51%, the 46 looks like a steep fall, but 46% students even passing the paper is a very good passing rate for a strategic professional level exam. But on average, it's like a 50% student in each exam sitting getting through with SBL in the first go. So that's a very healthy passing rate. And I hope that boosts your confidence ahead of your exams coming up. But again, the right direction, the right tips, the right techniques, the fine tuning is extremely important, because if 50% students are passing and then equally 50% are failing too, but you need to be within the 50% student who passed the SBL in the first go, a healthy looking pass rate. And that is very, very encouraging and very, very optimistic for all of you to proceed further to your SBL June 22 exams. Syllabus. You should all be aware of your syllabus from A to H, and you should be knowing each and every syllabus area. You should not ignore any syllabus area, because you never know what exactly comes in the exam paper. There is no hard and fast rules for SBL that this comes in every exam sitting, or that comes in every exam sitting. It's not like the AAA paper I teach mostly, that everything is very organized and you know what comes in question 1, what comes in question 2, and what comes in question 3. That's not the case with SBL, right? SBL is more of an open-ended question where you have one integrated case study, and 100 marks are allocated to that one integrated case study, and you have multiple requirements, multiple tasks connected to that one case study which you need to solve. You never know, sometimes governance, sometimes strategy, sometimes risk, sometimes finance and planning, they dominate the 100% of the paper. So you cannot ignore a syllabus area. So you need to ensure that each of the syllabus area from A to H, which is in total 8 syllabus areas, have been very well revised and gone through. So be sure that you know each and every syllabus area and the key models, the key theories, the key concepts within every syllabus area. You cannot remember everything, right? And rote learning is not what is required for an SBL paper. It's more about concepts. It's more about a mindset. You know the core areas inside strategy, core areas inside risk, core areas inside data analytics, and that's on your fingertips, or you have made a summary of them. That's what's needed at this point in time, right? Because eventually, what you will be writing in the answer is the case study. What you will be writing in the answer is the adaptation of your knowledge to a given case study. You are not reproducing the rote learn models or rote learn theories in your answer. Rather, you are adapting them, or you are changing them in the context of the case study. And that intelligence is required in the SBL paper. So if you are a student ready to adapt your knowledge, ready to modify your knowledge, ready to change your knowledge in the context of the case study, you are a brilliant student, and you will be among the 50% student who pass the SBL in the very first exam sitting. But if you just keep yourself rigid and you say, okay, whatever I have learned, if a topic comes, I'll reproduce the same knowledge without even looking at the environment or the context of the case study, that is absolutely wrong in context. So you should have a good command on syllabus. Now, with 14 days remaining, you are not expected to open books, because this is not the right time for book readings. This is the right time for practice, because a practice will make you successful. Moving on. The paper format, pretty simple paper format. You must all be knowing about it by now, when you have exams just under 14 days from now. Strategic Business Leader is a case study exam with a 4-hour timer, including reading and planning time and the reflection time. So everything is to be done within 4 hours, with 100 marks case study, which is an ideal scenario, because normally we do the other papers like AFM or APM or AAA in 3 hours and 15 minutes, where we read, where we plan, where we reflect on a 100 marks paper. But over here, we have 4 hours. That's an extra 45 minutes over the other papers, and we still have 100 marks. So I believe time management for an SBL is not an excuse, right? And those students who say we struggle with time management, which is like 1 in 10, I believe you are a very weak student, because time management is not an issue at all in SBL paper. When you have 4 hours at your disposal to attack a 100 marks paper, and you're normally prepared in the ACCA other papers on 3 hours and 15 minutes. So you're getting an incremental 45 minutes. You're getting a bonus 45 minutes to deliver the best answers. We'll be looking into that on the day 2 and day 3, how you utilize the 4 hours, how you break the 4-hour bursts between reading and planning, what exactly you should do in reading and planning, what are the best things you can do under the reading and planning time, how you go about retaining the information, retaining the exhibits, retaining the amount of information in the first 1 hour that you can correlate with in the later 3 hours. So I think the first 1 hour is crucial, because the way you spend time in the first 1 hour, and the way you utilize time in the first 1 hour, and the way you annotate, the way you read, the way you plan, the way you dump the information on the word processor, that plays a crucial part how you have set yourself for the remaining 3 hours. But if your foundation is wrong, your 1 hour is wrong, and you wasted your 1 hour, and even after 1 hour, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do, you are not retaining the exhibits in your mindset, you've spoiled your 1 hour. So the first 1 hour is the key to success, because that first 1 hour is the foundation of success. And if your foundation is weak, the remaining 3 hours is useless, is totally useless. So I hope on the day 2, on the day 3, on the day 4, and on the day 5, I will be putting a very, very crucial time on how to read, how to plan, because that leads to a proper reflection, that leads to a proper execution of an answer in 3 hours. So be prepared for day 2 and day 3, where I will be drilling exam paper, the latest one, the September-December 21, and I will be guiding you about how to read, how to plan, how to write. So you will get a lot of that from the day 2 and day 3. But you have 4 hours, that's the bottom line. Strategic Business Leader is an exam based on one business scenario. So you have one business scenario, Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3, Exhibit 4, Exhibit 5. So one company, one organization, and a lot of information about one organization divided into Exhibit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you have to read about it. You need to prepare yourself about the organization, what's happening in the organization, what are they doing for technology, what are they doing for CSR, what are they doing for the stakeholders, what sort of strategies they have in place, what sort of risk are they facing. Examiner will tell you a lot about the company in terms of many syllabus areas, and then examiner would be putting you into the context of a question, task number 1, task number 2, task number 3, task number 4, which you have to deliver at the end of the day. All questions are compulsory, and there are 80 technical marks and 20 professional marks. And I believe the 80 technical marks here is like something very ordinary, because you all know how to write or how to reflect on technical marks from your APM paper, from your AFM paper, from your AAA paper, from your SPR paper, from your FM paper, from your AA paper. You know how to attack the technical marks. I believe that is something ordinary, to attack the technical marks. But the crucial part here is where I'll be spending most of my time in the webinar, is the 20 professional marks. I believe this is something extraordinary, and that needs attention, that needs priority, because how you blend your answer, how you refine your answer, how you tone your answer, how you structure your answer, and how you blend the technical marks with the professional marks, how you sync them together is the crucial success factor here. So I believe this 20 professional marks is the CSF of the SBL paper, critical success factor. And don't worry, I've kept a good amount of time over the next 4 days of this webinar to speak, to understand, to deliver, to for all of you the guidance, the clear guidance on 20 professional marks, and you will be amazed how you should be going with it in exam context. So I hope you all agree with me that 80 technical marks is something ordinary. We do that in every paper. We know what to do with the 80 technical marks. We know there will be a requirement and we need to answer the requirement. But if you believe you score 0 out of 20 from the professional marks and you will pass the SBL paper, no. I normally suggest my students that from 20 professional marks, you should aim for 12 to 15 marks, 12 to 15 marks out of 20. If you get somewhere around 12 to 15 professional marks, you are on the right course, on the right track to pass the SBL paper, because technical marks alone will not help you pass the SBL paper. Are you all clear? Are you all with me? Are you all clear so far, so forth, the discussion we are having? Just waiting for your answers. Okay, and I hope you are into the webinar, right? And you're actively into the webinar, because that's extremely important to be focused, right, on what the tutor is telling you. That's extremely important. Thank you. Okay, now we know a lot of things is to be done on day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. I'm just taking the day 1 as an intro day, as a motivational day, as a reinforcement day, as a day to create an optimism among all of you that SBL is doable. You can pass the SBL paper, right? So the first day is a foundation day. The first day is a motivational day. The first day is a reinforcement day. The first day is a day where I need to set the right track. And on the day 2, on the day 3, on the day 4, on the day 5, we are into the past papers. We are into the professional marks. We're into the technical marks. We are into finding the ways to pass the SBL paper. Time management. And that's what we were discussing just shortly. 4 hours and recommendable time zones, what ACCS suggests students to do. That's in front of your screen currently. 40 to 60 minutes is what ACCS suggests is the reading and planning time. Some students do the reading and planning within 40 minutes. Some do it on 60 minutes basis. So even if you take the maximum 60 minutes, right, and you keep 60 minutes for reading and planning, which is approximately 1 hour of the 4 hours, right, you still have 3 hours, which is 180 minutes to write in your answer for 100 marks of the paper, right? Which is not a bad looking equation, because in the rest of the paper, in this 3 hours, we are doing the reading and planning as well. But in the SBL paper, this 3 hours is the net time, which is just for writing. No readings and no plannings, because you've already done them in the first 1 hour. So I believe ideally 1 hour is good, not more than that. Not even 40 minutes. I suggest that 1 hour is good, because the more time you spend on reading, planning, dumping the information from the exhibits to your word processor, and arranging your word processor in 1 hour plays a crucial role. I'll be guiding you about that on day 2 and day 3, that how you utilize the word processor and how you copy paste things in the word processor, and what's the best technique you should be adopting in the first 1 hour of the webinar, so that you can write a very good answer later in 3 hours. Umar, Rajput, you have to bring it under 1 hour. So a slightly more than 1 hour, Umar, like 65 minutes or 70 is not bad. But if you're taking like 90 minutes or 95 minutes, then that is something to be controlled, right? Because you are then reducing your writing time in exam, which is a big risk factor. I hope you're clear with that, Umar. Okay, moving on. Agenda of the webinar. Now, as I was deciding what I should do for June 22 webinar, it was very confusing for me even, because there are so many things which needs to be considered, and also need to be considered that we are 14 days or less than 14 days away from exam paper. So I tried my best to find the right agenda which can be more beneficial to all of you at this point in time. Let's look at the agenda items and then the division of the agenda items over the next 5 days. Now, when I was thinking about the agenda item, I thought about I should be discussing with you how you should be approaching the SBL exams with 14 or slightly less than 14 days to go. What should be the right study strategy? Any recent changes in SBL which you should be aware of, and do you have an idea of the recent changes if there are any, and are you prepared on that? Because that's extremely important. Next, tips and techniques which I will be giving over every single day of the webinar, because I believe these tips and techniques, if noted well, can contribute to your success in the upcoming SBL exams. If you take the words of the tutor as important. I will be guiding you about the key resources which you should be using in the next 14 days from you have left with. September, December 21 paper, a deep investigation of that with marking scheme and the examiner report. And I've kept a sufficient time for that in my webinar, approximately 2 days, where we will be just in September, December 21 paper, because we need to be in a deep investigation of that paper with the marking scheme and examiner report. And that's where you get the maximum benefit of this webinar: reading time, planning time, writing time, professional marks, technical marks, everything gets down there. Gaining professional marks, a deep insight. Again, the next 4 days, the maximum amount of time will go on gaining professional marks. And then again, obviously, I will be giving you the marking scheme guidance on technical marks and how you can gain most of your technical marks in the SBL paper. Reinforcement of the core areas. I believe I've kept some time in the webinar where I will be reinforcing some core areas, models and theories like risk and strategy, governance, something like that. Just reinforcing and giving you the right guidance, how you can reinforce models and theories on your fingertips in last 10, 12 days ahead of the exams. So a quite diversified agenda to come over the next 5 days of the webinar, including today. Now, this is how I divided my agenda on the 5-day planner. On the 26th of May, which is today, I'm looking at approaching SBL exams with 14 days to go. Recent changes, key resources you must be using at this point in time, and key tips. Tomorrow, on the 27th of May, I will be looking at the September, December 21 paper, drilling. Same agenda is on the 28th of May. I will be looking at the September, December 21 paper with examiner report. Day 4 on the 29th of May, I will be looking at the reinforcement of the key areas from the syllabus. And on day 5, again, reinforcement of the key areas, part 2, part 1. 2 days kept for paper, 2 days kept for reinforcement, and 1 day kept for a journal discussion on SBL. So that's the agenda. Okay, then let's start with day 1 agenda. So welcome to the day 1 of the webinar to success for SBL June 22 exam. I am your tutor, Kashif Kamran. Let's start the proceedings. Now, I have been seeing your messages in the last few days over the WhatsApp and over the emails and over the Facebook. And I tried making a summary of those frequently asked questions, because I thought it would be better to discuss them and give you clear answers in the webinar. What to do now? Because this has been the most frequently asked question, what I should do now. Even yesterday, in the last 24 hours, most of the students is asking me what we should do now. So I think what to do now, or what to do in these last 2 weeks, is $1 million question. Let's see what answer I suggest you for this shortly. Next, how many past papers should I be practicing? Should I be doing kit? Again, the kit and paper is a very major conflicting parameter among students. Kit papers, and that remains like a quite a conflicting area when students ask me questions. What depth of book reading should I require to pass SBL paper? And is it the right time to read the books now if you have not read them yet? Let's find a clear answer on that. Is reading examiner articles important? And have you really read them? That's another question. How many mock drills should I do ahead of my exams in June? Now, these are some of the questions which I got on the social media, particularly in the last 10 days. And I thought these are good questions. And the answers of that would benefit all of you, not just the students who have asked these questions. So I titled them as frequently asked questions. Okay, let's go one by one with each one of them. What to do now? 14 days or probably less than 14 days now, what I should be doing, what you should be doing. I believe, first of all, you should sit down today and spend 1 hour on self-appraisal, because I believe this is important. There cannot be one hard checklist. I will be giving you a checklist, but there is no one hard checklist that this is what you should do in last 14 days, because every one of you will be different today. Now, standing today on the 26th of May, each one of you have a different stance on your preparation. Some of you might have read book, some of you might not have. Some of you might have started practicing the papers now, and some of you might have already practiced papers. Some of you might have read the articles, some of you might not have read the articles. So moving forward from the 26th of May, what can be done can only start with a self-appraisal. Where are you standing today? So you need a self-appraisal of yourself today, not tomorrow. Where are you standing in terms of your exam preparation? How confident you are with your exam preparations currently? And have you devised a study planner yourself over the next 2 weeks? If you have, stick to it, because I believe that the study planner which you will devise is the best, because you know your challenges and obstacles. So now look ahead into the next 2 weeks and think about how should you go about utilizing them. Consider your challenges, consider your obstacles, consider your constraints. Now, you know you have challenges. Every one of us has challenges, constraints, and obstacles. Find them out. You have 24 hours a day, but you cannot study 24 hours. Now, from the 24 hours of the day, you might be going for a job. You might be a full-time student. You might be giving multiple papers, whatever. Try to find the net time you can give to SBL from now onwards. 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Try to find that with minus the obstacles, minus the challenges, minus the constraints, and then see what can be the best strategy which you can put in from now over the next 2 weeks. But a self-appraisal today after the webinar gets over is extremely important, to take a pen and paper, sit down with a pen and paper and analyze where am I standing today and what needs to be done to pass the SBL paper. Set a timetable, divide it in 2 weeks and assign priorities based upon your self-appraisal. Suppose you have 2 weeks, and ideally you have 2 weeks, roughly 1-2 days minus 12 days, realistically. Divide these 12 days, 6 and 6 days, and see what will you do in the first 6 days and what will you do in the later 6 days. Assign priorities. Do the more important things now, do the less important things later. So divide yourself into short timetables like 4 days, 6 days, and set priorities. How would you go about it? But it all depends upon your self-appraisal, which is to be done. Then only you can devise a good timetable ahead. I will be giving you a box ticking, which is my mindset, which is what I believe is the right thing to do in the next 14 days. But you need to devise your own timetable and then blend your timetable with my timetable and find something out as best. Must remember, more time on practice is the key here. If you are going into the BPP book or a Kaplan book now, that's a big disaster. I think this is the key time where everything is to be focused on practice of the past paper, and that too on the practice platform. The last bullet holds the key here. So are you all ready to do a self-appraisal? Today, after the webinar, will you keep a pen and paper with you and sit down for 1 hour and try just to analyze where you are and what you can do, where you are and what needs to be done? So are you all ready set for a self-appraisal today? Okay, that's great. Because that is extremely important, right? For all of you, not for me, but for you, because you have to appear eventually in the SBL exam and you need to be successful. Okay, moving onwards. This is my perception. This is what I believe is the right study approach, which should be the focus of the next 12-13 days you have from now. Listen to me very, very carefully and try to think, have you done this? If you have done something already on the screen, just say, okay, I've done it. Because you have to do a self-appraisal with this right study approach. And you need to find, where am I standing in terms of this right study approach? How much of this I have done? How much of this I still need to do? Now, first of all, the 28 articles on the SBL webpage, I hope you know about them. And obviously, you must be knowing about them. That's quite lame at this point in time that you don't know about the articles. Just let me show them to you. Can you see the articles in front of your screen now? Can you see the web page, technical articles? Okay, great. Now, the good thing is that these articles are divided into 8 syllabus areas, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So exactly you know that if I'm reading an article, it belongs to which topic. Now, that's the best thing. So there are articles on leadership, there are articles on governance, articles on strategy, articles on risk, articles on data analytics, articles on control, articles on finance, articles on change management. Now you need to read them. In total, there are 28 articles. Now you need to do a self-appraisal and ask yourself, have you read them? Number one. Have you not read them? Number two. Have you read some of them? And so on and so forth. And realistically think, how much time will you be giving now to read this article? Because I believe the right knowledge is the article. And I, as a tutor, prefer articles over book, or I should give precedence to articles over book, because articles is the mindset of the SBL examining team. Just a thought process, just a thought process. You go down to the C area, strategy, and you look at this. Look at this article here on your screen here, this one. Can you see this article here? Market segmentation, a strategic analysis and positioning tool. And look at this. This article focused on the nature and importance of the market and customer segmentation. In the September-December 21 paper, which I will be doing tomorrow, there was a question number 1A, which was an absolute question asking the knowledge about customer segmentation. Now, see, this is reflecting from an examiner article. And a lot of students ask me, what is customer segmentation? From which syllabus area it has come from? I was really amazed that the student has not read the article. See, these articles in front of your screen, written by the SBL examining team, is for whom? For me? Should I read them? I can only reinforce them, right? I can only guide you. I can only reinforce. I can only tell you, read them, read them, read them. And I've been guiding on them even in my December 21 webinar as well. Read them. So take a time out and start reading them. For example, I believe 28 might be too many at this point in time if you have not read any one of them, but try to ensure which of the syllabus area you are weaker at. Look at the screen in front. You might say, okay, I'm weaker at the syllabus area G, or I'm weak at the syllabus area E, for example. So you open the syllabus area E, technology and data analytics, and you see, okay, how many articles are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll read all these 6 articles so that I become better in my syllabus area on technology and data analytics, which is the syllabus area E. So if you have less time and you believe I cannot do 28 articles, can you identify the weak areas of the syllabus, everyone? Can you identify that out of the 8 syllabus areas, which are the weaker one? At least you can read articles in those areas, everyone. Am I right? Are you with me? Are you finding this equation better instead of reading all the 28 articles? So will all of you find your weak areas? And will you go inside those areas and read articles if you cannot read all 28 articles? Honestly, tell me, how many of you have read all the articles? Anyone who have read all? Tell me. Anyone who can claim you've read all can drop a message 100% in the chat box. Okay, that's very good. At least one student is saying 90%, which is good, very good. And I believe rest of the students have not read it. Is there any student who has not read a single? Okay, I have read some, Alana, that's good. But any student who can claim none, 0? Okay, that's good. That's very good. Even 50 to 60% is good. So those of you who claims like 50 to 60% or 60 to 70% or 90%, you should ensure you read all of them, right? But if anyone says none, 0 at this point in time, can you at least find the weaker areas of the syllabus and read some of the articles? Are you with me, all of you? Is there any student who says I've read none? Because for a none student, you need to find the weak areas. And you find the weak areas from the syllabus and at least read the articles in those particular syllabus areas. Is that clear to the students? Because I think the none students are not responding here. The students who claim they've read a 0 article are not responding currently. I will not scold you, honestly, if you can tell me if you've not read a single article yet. Okay, that's very good. So after I made clear that I will not be scolding you, students have started replying, not yet, sir. But will you find the weak areas? Anyone who's saying not yet, sir, will you find the weak areas and at least read articles within those weak areas? Right? Will you do that in the next 14 days? That's good. But please ensure, just like the September-December 21 paper, where a question number 1A was formulated from this article, and you will regret coming out of the exam hall that once you know that a question came in the exam paper, which was from the article. So ignoring the article can just be a regret later. And you will regret that what if you must have read it, you would have passed the upcoming exams. So please, please, please ensure that you are reading the articles right at this hyperlink given. And that's the first right study approach. Now, I've just made clear, some of the students claimed that we have done 50 to 60% of them or 90% of them. I would suggest all of you to read 100%. But if any student says, I've not even read a single, then find the weak areas and at least read the articles in the weak area. I hope you're clear with that, right? Number one. Number two, 3 recent exam papers on the practice platform. Now, when you go to the practice platform, there are 3 recent exams, right? If I can show you that as well, we'll be doing one of them. Can you see the practice platform in front of your screen? Please confirm. Can you see the practice platform in front of your screen? Okay, that's great. You go to the SBL area, ACC official resources, past exam library. Can you see the past exam library on your screen for SBL right here? Can you see 3 latest papers? December 20, June 21, and December 21. We will be doing the December 21 from tomorrow, day 2 and day 3. But 3 latest paper. That should be your priority. That should be your priority because that's extremely important. Can you all see the screen in front of you? Can you all see the platform screen in front of you? Okay, great. So please ensure the 3 latest exams. That's extremely important. That's extremely important to do so. So let's go back. 3 recent exam papers on the platform. Now, 3 latest are December 20, December 21, and June 21, right? I've just shown you that. 3 latest on the platform. Do them. Now, along with the 3 latest papers, 3 recent examiner reports. Download them, take a printout of them, and read through them. I will be telling you how to read the examiner report on day 2 and day 3, because I will be reading the examiner report myself and guiding you what's the best way to read and what's the best you can get out from the examiner report. But I will reinforce the reading of the report tomorrow on day 2. But you have to read 3 examiner reports on the basis of how I read one on day 2 and day 3. And you know the 3 latest examiner reports are available on the website. Can you see the examiner report webpage in front of your screen now? I've given the hyperlink in my presentation. The presentation will be shared with you on the Google Drive, so don't worry about it. Can you all see the examiner reports in front of your screen? Great, thank you. Okay, can you see the 3 latest examiner reports here? Can you see the 3 latest examiner reports here? December 21, June 21, and December 20. Download them, take a printout of them, and study them. Now, you know that in the examiner report, I will be guiding you about that on day 2 and day 3. The examiner will tell you about weaker students and stronger students. This is a very common word you will find in the examiner report. Stronger student and examiner continues writing. Weaker student, examiner continues writing. Now, wherever you find a stronger student, underline that in green. And wherever you find a weaker student, underline that in red. And relate the weaker student with you and ask a question to yourself that what the examiner is telling a weaker student do this. Am I doing it? Am I doing it? And if you find a point in a weaker student paragraph which relates with yourself, you have got an incremental bonus marks because you will not be doing that on the day of exam. But if there is something written in a paragraph of a weaker student and you not read it, and you exactly do the same mistake in the June 22 exam, you will regret it. Are you getting my point here? So find the weaker student paragraphs, underline the weaker student paragraphs in red, and relate them with you. And see what the examiner is telling a weaker student do this. Ask a question to yourself. Am I doing it? You must have done practice by now, right? Am I doing it? And if you believe, yes, I'm doing it, have you got a time to correct it? Have you got the time to rectify it? And has that become an opportunity for you? Tell me, has that become an opportunity for you? Agree or disagree? Has that become an opportunity? So read the paragraphs with weaker students. I will be doing the same exercise on day 2 and day 3. We'll find the weaker student paragraphs and you need to relate them with you. Every weaker student paragraph which relates with you is an opportunity to rectify. Agree? Every weaker student paragraph which relates with you is an opportunity to rectify, and an opportunity to rectify is an incremental marks in exam paper, right? The opportunity to rectify is an incremental marks in exam paper. But the problem is student tendency of reading examiner reports is worst. You will read books. You will read plenty of books. You will read examiner answers. You will read every other resource. But something which you will not read, number one, is the examiner report. And number two is the articles. At least articles are better read. But the percentage of student reading examiner report is worst. Tell me, all of you, how many of you have read the 3 examiner reports so far? Is there any student who says, oh, 100%? Three in front of you. Have you read them the way I am telling you? Anyone who can claim, yes, I have done it. Okay, Muhammad Umar saying not a single one. Not even one, sir. Okay, no. So that is the ground reality. That is the ground reality. And that is like a nightmare for me as a tutor. Will you download them today? Will you take a printout of them today? Will you keep a red and a green marker with you? Will you keep a red and green marker with you? Right? See this? I have them with me every possible time. Will you keep this red and green with you? Whatever markers you have. And will you sit down and read them? See this? You sit down and read. See, I keep them on my table every time. Even when I'm preparing for webinars, sit down, read them, underline them. And this one document can change your, can change the way you look at SBL. This one document. Tell me, examiner reports are written for the tutor. Examiner reports are written for the students. At least as a tutor, I can guide you on the right track. Now, taking a printout, taking the red and green pens, sitting on a table and reading them is your responsibility, right? I hope you will all start to do it from today because that's extremely important. Okay, let's move back because I will be reading them tomorrow, right? One of them will come in my session, which is basically the December 21. So this is part of my session. So I will be doing it. So at least one of them gets in my session as well. So you have a better understanding of how to go about reading it. Okay, just give me 1 second. We're moving back from the examiner reports. 3 examiner reports, downloading, printouting, and going with it. So see, now listen to me for one more minute and we're going off. When you do a paper, right? Suppose you attempt a September, December 21 paper at home on the practice platform, right? And you wrote the answer. Now, once you wrote the answer, see, I just want to guide you something here. Um, I hope you can see the Word file in front of your screen. I will be using it on a daily basis, and I will be sharing it with you on a daily basis on the Google Drive and in the WhatsApp group. So whatever I will be writing on a Word file will get to you. So don't worry about it. Can you all see the Word file? Just please confirm that for day one. Okay, now listen to me very carefully. Attempting the past papers. When you're attempting the past papers as a student, this is what I believe should be the way. Number one, first solve a past paper. For example, September, December 21 on the practice platform. Completely on the platform yourself, not even looking at the answers, right? Yourself. First, solve the past paper. For example, September, December 21 on the practice platform. You read it, you plan it, you write it, right? Read, plan, write. And you do it. Now, once you complete the answer in 4 hours or slightly more than 4 hours, because at home, you take a bit of more time. In exam, the time goes down, but you complete a paper, right? Now, once you complete the paper, how would you know that I wrote a good answer or a bad answer? Now, that point in time, you come to the second step. Now, after you drafted the answer, evaluate your answer in terms of strength and weaknesses. How? Simply, the printout read the printout of the examiner report of September, December 21 exams on a question by question basis, starting with question number 1, and read what the examiner is telling was done good and done bad by students in question number 1. Now, the examiner will tell you that this was done good by students in question number 1 and this was done bad by the students in question number 1. Now, you have written the answer. Now relate the bad with your answer. If you find anything bad mentioned by the examiner in your answer, you got an opportunity to learn. And not to repeat it in next answer or your upcoming exam. Is that an opportunity? Now, if examiner is telling that something bad was done and you say, oh, this is exactly what I did in my answer, relate the bad with your answer. And if you find anything bad mentioned by the examiner in your answer, you got an opportunity, right, to learn from your mistake and not to repeat it in the next answer or the upcoming exam. Tell me how critical this last sentence is. Do you all agree with this sentence? Tell me. I have highlighted in yellow. Is that extremely beneficial when you read an examiner report. And that's exactly what I will be demonstrating on the day 2 and day 3 exactly. Now, that is where you need to sit down, do one answer on the platform, then do an analysis of your answer. Now, the problem with student is they write an answer and they go and download the examiner answer. Now, just want to show you something, though I have to do it tomorrow, not today, but just want to show you something here. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, just want to show you something. Examiner report, right, in front of your screen. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see the examiner report, which I will be doing tomorrow. Can you see this examiner report in front of your screen? September, December 21 exams, right? We'll be going into it tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Now, over here in the examiner report, you can see the content. Now, in the content, can you see here specific comments? Question number 1A on page number 7, question number 1B on page number 9, question number 2A on page number 10, question number 2B on page. You're looking at the specific comments, right? So you click on the question number 1A, you wrote an answer for question number 1A, right? You wrote an answer for question number 1A, right? Now you click on question number 1A and you reach question number 1A. See, hyperlinked. An examiner will tell you this is the question number 1A. And then examiner tells you from here. Examiner would start telling you stronger candidates. Can you see this word here? Stronger candidates. Can you see this word here? Weaker candidates. Right? So when you get down with the question number 1A specific comment and you have written an answer, now how would you know whether I've written a good answer or a bad answer? Over here, the examiner is saying stronger candidates, and you read your answer and you say, oh, I've done this. +1 in my answer. Weaker candidate, oh, I did this as well, -1. So in your answer, if you had something which relates with a stronger student, +1. In your answer, if something relates to the weaker student, -1. And that's the best way you can learn. That's the best way you can evaluate. I hope you're getting this perspective, though it's very brief up. I will be doing this in more detail tomorrow and day after tomorrow. But I hope you're getting the right track here. Now, the problem with the student is, what will they do? Because student likes this. Student will write an answer. Can you all see the question and the answers in front of your screen? Can you all see this? Okay, great. So student will write an answer on the platform, and then what he or she will do as a student, they will come to the answers here, because students love examiner answers. They fantasize the examiner answer. They idealize the examiner answer. You will click on the answers, September, December 21. You open them up, and right in front of the screen, you can see the examiner answers. I hope you can, or let me share that with you. I hope you can see the examiner answers in front of your screen. So you're not going to the examiner report, right? You're going to the examiner answers. And I think all of you do that. And you come here, examiner answer, question number 1A. Question number 1A. Okay, it starts from here. Question number 1A. Okay, examiner has written the answer here. Question number 1A. And you say, okay, examiner has written this. Oh, how long examiner has written this answer? Target customer effectively, increase competitiveness. Okay, another point, another point, another point. Page number 2, summary. And here the answer comes in. Summary, question number 1A. So examiner almost written like a 2-page answer for question number 1A. Oh, I've just written half a page. I've just written 1 page. This is what students do. You fantasize, you idealize the examiner answer. You are not reading the examiner report, which tells you a stronger student and a weaker student. Because see, I'm just spending 2 more minutes on this. because I have to do it on day 2 and day 3. If I write a point and you write a point, for example, in my answer, I wrote a point, increase competitiveness. Can you see this point on the screen? Can you see this point on the screen, increase competitiveness? All of you. Now, suppose I wrote this point on increased competitiveness. You wrote the point on increased competitiveness. Examiner wrote the point on increased competitiveness. But the way I explain increased competitiveness, the way you explain increased competitiveness, the way examiner explain increased competitiveness, will that be the same? Will that be the same? And this is the beauty of a theoretical paper. Subjectivity. Subjectivity is the beauty of a theoretical paper. We all can have a same point, but none of us will have a same explanation. Agree or disagree? We can all have a same point, but none of us will have a same explanation. This is the beauty of a theoretical paper. Now, my explanation can fetch me 2 marks. Your explanation can fetch you 2 marks. Examiner explanation can fetch examiner 2 marks, because that is my perspective. Now, most of you look at examiner answers, agree? Most of you idealize examiner answers. Most of you fantasize examiner answers, but you don't read this. Can you just read this? Look at this. Can you see I have highlighted a sentence? Can you just read the sentence on your screen in like 5 seconds? Have you read it? The sentence I've just highlighted on the screen. Have you all read it? And have you read it? And have you read it before the webinar, while you were obsessed with answers, reading answers, idealizing answers, fantasizing answers? Honestly, tell me, have you read the statement before? Because the problem with students is they just want to get into the answer. They just want to go into the answer and say, oh, this big answer. How can I write this big answer? And I think that's half the stress. That's the stress level students have, right? Are you all understanding this line? I think this is quite self-explanatory. The suggested answer presented below inevitably give much more detail than would be expected from most candidates under exam condition, and include most of the obvious point evident from the case. And look at this. Look at this first paragraph here. Can you just read the first paragraph quickly? Because I just want to get over this myth of reading examiner answers. Examiner reports are better than examiner answer, because report is a critical evaluation of the stronger and the weaker student, not the answer. Can you read the first paragraph? I hope you're all reading it. I'm just waiting for 30 seconds. Have you all read it? I will be doing it on day 2 and day 3. So if a point is not written in the examiner answer, but you wrote that point, is the examiner says you will be rewarded for that point, provided you have explained that well in the context of the case study. So I see the examiner answer and I see my answer. Now, first stress level is examiner answer is this lengthy and my answer is this lengthy. That's my first stress level. My second stress level is examiner wrote a point which I have not written. And I say, oh, examiner wrote a point which I have not written. My answer is wrong. Now, you try to build up a stress which is unnecessary. If you read the opening paragraphs here, right on your screen, I hope your stress level will go down. Am I correct? And which is the better document to read in these last 12 days? Which is the better document to read in these last 12 days? Critical evaluation of the examiner report, which I've just demonstrated on the Word file. So now after you've drafted the answer, evaluate your answer in terms of strength and weaknesses. How? Read the examiner report, not the examiner answer. Because to me, examiner report is better than examiner answer, as examiner report is a critical evaluation, of students' answer and give better understanding and insights to the student. Is that clear to all of you? So will you be taking this approach from today? Will you be taking this approach from today, attempting the past exam papers? And that's exactly the approach I will be taking from day 2 onwards, right? So let's move back to my presentation where we were. So examiner reports, how many? 3. 3 latest papers. Now, after that, 3 latest papers with 3 examiner reports in the last 12 days you're better prepared to take on the mock exam. 1 mock exam. Where is the mock exam? I hope you have seen the mock exam on the practice platform, all of you. ACCA mock exam. Okay, can you see the practice platform on your screen, all of you? Can you see the practice platform on your screen? Practice exams, right? Practice exams. In the practice exam on your screen, can you see the mock exam? Let me show you that. Can you see the practice exams? And in the practice exam, can you see the mock exam here given by ACCA for June 22? Right? So I believe in the 12 days you have now, 3 latest papers with 3 examiner reports, finding the weaker student and finding the stronger student and relating them with you, you are better prepared to take on a mock exam and do it. Is that clear? Now, I think that is sufficient enough for your upcoming exams because you don't have time more than that. Honestly, you don't have time more than that because you have to read articles as well. You have to read the examiner reports as well. So you will not have time more than that. But if you believe 1, 2, 3, 4, which the tutor has told me, I've done most of them. If you believe, oh, I've done most of the 1, 2, 3, 4 already, then you can do something extra. If you have time, do 3 practice exams on the platform. If you believe 1, 2, 3, 4 on your screen and you've done most of them and you still have time, what will you do in the spare time? Do the 3 practice exams, right? Do the 3 practice exams. I hope you've seen the 3 practice exams here, right, on the platform. These are the 3 practice exams here. 3 practice exams. If you have time, do the 3 practice exams. If not necessarily, but the necessary part is the 3 latest exams, 3 latest examiner reports, 28 articles. That's the must, and 1 mock exam. But after all this, you still have time. Don't waste it. Do the 3 practice exams. I hope you're all clear with this. So this is the right study approach. I hope you liked it. I hope you will benefit from it. And I hope you got the right dimension of taking on this study approach for the last 12 days, right? So please sit down today with this right study approach. Do a self-appraisal and try to change this study approach according to your limitations, challenges, what you have done, what you still need to do. Again, I was very clear that if any student have read not a single article at this point in time, 28 articles is very difficult. So try to find your weak areas, and within those weak areas, try to read the articles. I think I was clear on that. And once you get the recording, you can rewatch it and reinforce my statements. Okay, moving towards few of the last things from the day one. Revision of the key models and theories. And I'll be doing that on the last 2 days of the webinar, day 4 and day 5. It is extremely important that you know the crux summary of each syllabus area very well. The main aspects should be on your fingertips. There are so many models, right? So many theories in your syllabus. What's the best way to revise them? I'll be telling you shortly. Give me just a few minutes. There is no rote learning, right? But you need to know the main aspects of your syllabus, like models and theories, to survive better in exam environment. So there is no rote learning, but at least you should know what is the risk management model. At least you should know what is the stakeholder analysis. At least you should know the pestle, the Porter 5 forces, the Porter diamond, so that you can relate it with the scenario. Not the rote learn knowledge, but you can put the Porter diamond in context of the exam environment. So the models on your fingertips, the theories on your fingertips, not the rote learning, just a crux, just a summary. How many of you have made summaries of models and theories by now? Because there are plenty of them, right? How many of you have made a summary, one-page summary of every model? How many of you have done that so far? Can anyone claim it, respond to it? Anyone has done with models and theories so far? Okay, that's good. Few of the students are responding with yes, saying they have done it, because that's extremely important. Some are saying not yet, but you need to do it. Now, I want to show you something which I've already shared on my Google Drive, and I'll be sharing the Google Drive with you, so don't worry about it. There is a document which is known as, let me share the document with you. I think I've recommended my regular students who are taking course from me. This can you see this document in front of your screen? The webinar series 100, Dr. Dinu 100 series. Can you see this on your screen? Yes, you've seen it. Okay, you can see that on your screen. Now that is the document I recommend for the last 12 days. If you have not yet read it, I've already included this document on the Google Drive, which I will be sharing with you after the day 1 of the webinar. So don't worry about it. You just need to take a printout of this, or you can read it on the screen of your laptop or your gadget. Nothing to worry about it. This was the very first webinar which ACCA organized for SBL student when the paper was introduced in September 2018. And there were a lot of misconception about the paper. So this was the longest webinar ACCA held on SBL, and the first one. And it is an extremely important document. Dr. Dinu, who was presenting the webinar, presented for all of us, me and you. Because at that time, a lot of clarity was needed by the tutor and by the student. Now, when you go in this document, this is a 225 pages document. That's just like a book, but there are some pages of this document which is very, very productive. Now, when you go into this document, it tells you everything about SBL paper, a holistic summary. See this summary on your screen? This gives summary of the entire syllabus on one page. And Dr. Dinu says this is 100 things you should know about SBL. This is summary, 100 things. Can you see this? You can just take a printout of this and you say, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I know 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 this, I don't know this, I don't know this, I don't know this. Do this. This is like a holistic analysis where you stand today. Page number 3, right? So page number 3 of the Dr. Dinu will become extremely important. I will just be writing them on the Word file, which page numbers to read. Then you go down the next page, aim, leave it out. What is exam all about? Key terms for passing exams, journal principles, managing the time. It's up to you. You want to read this thing out, managing the time and managing the time, Again, key points when reading the requirements. I will be doing that, so I'm not bothered about it. Keywords, yes, this page number 15 and page number 16. In an exam, if the question is silent, and Dr. Dinu is telling us that if the question uses the word environment, then you might think about pestle mainly, because pestle is the external environment and 5 forces is the industry environment. So if the question is asking for an external or macro environment or macro analysis, then you can use the pestle, or if it is about an industry analysis, then you can use the 5 forces. So examiner is saying these are key words in the question. Competition, which model to use? Performance, which model to use? Evaluation of the strategies, which model to use? Position analysis. Now, the words in the red are the one used by the examiner. So if the examiner used the word in red, what sort of model click your mind? So that's what Dr. Dinu is trying to tell us on page number 15 and on the page number 16 and on the page number 17. So 3 pages, right? 15, 16, 17, key words versus models. That's what the lecturer is telling us. And on the page number 3, we have the summary, the flow chart, right? That's essential. Then you go down, leave all the other pages. Professional marks, I will be covering myself. Go down, go down, go down. Okay, this page number 29. Page number 29, you can see the formats, right? Can you all see the formats? Yes, these are all examinable models, right? Layouts. Layouts. You can see the layouts, page number 29, 30, 31, 32. Slides, we know this is a computer-based exam, so slides are already in the computer-based exams. You're not making them anymore. Okay, page number 29 to 31, you have the formats, right? Page number 33 is having the writing tips. Page number 34 is having the writing tips. I take them as important. 33 and 34, they have the writing tips, which I consider as extremely important. And then the last thing, which is the most important from this webinar. Can you see this page here in front of you, all of you? 100 things you need to know and how to apply them in SBL exam. Can you see this page number 37 onwards? Now, page number 37 onwards is the most crucial part, because in every page, Dr. Dinu will mention one thing which is part of SBL. Number 1, the summary. Can you see the summary again? The whole summary. Again, you can take a printout of this and check, okay, have I done this? 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 Will you do this, all of you? Will you all do this? Will this flowchart help you analyze where are you standing in terms of syllabus coverage? Good. Okay. Then on page 39, there is 100 index, 100 things. You can take a printout of this as well and say, okay, have I done this? 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 These are 100 things, right? Have I done this? Have I done this? Have I done this? Have I done this? And you go down with it, right? So this is 100 areas index, which is extremely important. Then each of the 100 areas are explained then. The first of the 100 areas, 5. The first 5 areas are the skills, communication, analysis, evaluation, acumen, skepticism, which I will be doing. So leave them out. But then you have, this is important. See, every page is so good for you. Why governance? Why is it all about? Just a recap. Then next, what is the agency relationship? What are costs associated? See, this is summary. Key concepts of corporate governance. What is accountability? What is stakeholder? Examples of stakeholder. How can we map stakeholders? See, these are summaries. You can take printouts of them. On every page, there is a summary of a key model and a key theory. Examiner relates them with the exam paper. Leave the exam papers. Just take the printout of the models and theories. What should we think about stakeholders who are institutional investors? See, who are institutional investors? What is the board of directors? Types of boards, unitary board and two-tier boards, non-executive directors, what are threats to independence, why is diversity of board important, and it goes on. This is such wonderful. If you can take printout from page 37 onwards, and it goes on 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, public sector, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, risk management process. See, these are summaries, one-page summary on everything. See, it goes on 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Every syllabus area has been covered. And it goes on 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. And till the time you reach 100. I just want to give you the page numbers, right? Which is the page number last. See, every model, value chain, BCG, big data, dangers of big data for an examination point of view, how to organize data, cloud systems, innovations. This is the best thing you can do. Marketing, market segmentation, marketing mix, so important. E-marketings, customer relationship management. This is extremely important areas for your revisions, right? And at least at the end of this 100 areas, you know I've done everything, right? So this is how things look like. And goes on to 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 99, 900. Page number 215. Wonderful document. Have you got some benefit of it? Summary. I think this is one document which you should stick to in the last 12 days. Either you take a printout, if you can afford to take a printout of it. If you cannot, take it on your screen and read it, or take it on your smartphone and read it. Right? So either put it on your smartphone, either put it on your laptop, on your tab, take a printout, whichever way you prefer, but do read it. Have you got some idea? One page covering one syllabus area. So I'm just putting here, this here, revision. And this revision has to come from Dr. Dinu. You have to take a printout of Dr. Dinu. Just let me recommend which pages are more important of Dr. Dinu. Just let me put that on my support file. I hope you can see my Word file here. Revision of the course through Dr. Dinu 100 webinar series, because I believe this is the key to success here, right? Is everyone getting this on the screen? Okay, now which page numbers? Following page numbers are important. Which page numbers? Page 3, page 15, 15 to 17, 29 to 31, 33 to 34, and then from page number 37 till 215. This is the 100 things summary. This is the 100 things summary, right? On page 37 to 115. Will you make a habit of reading as many pages as possible on a daily basis? Basis? When you're sitting idle, suppose you're going to sleep, and you keep this Dr. Dinu on your smartphone, and you spend 30, 40 minutes revising, right? I hope 30 to 40 minutes before you go to sleep is a good time when you can just scroll over Dr. Dinu. Is that clear? So these are the pages number, right? You have to spend time on this point in time, right? So I hope you like this revision of key models rather than going into the textbook, BPP, Kaplan. I think the best way of revision is the Dr. Dinu 100 series. There are some pages which are extremely important. Yes, this Word file will be on the drive as well, right? So everything I'm writing on the Word file will be put on the drive. I'll just be showing you the drive. Every day I'll upload documents on a day-wise basis on the drive. I'll just be showing you the drive. Gagandeep Singh, right? Sorry. Next. Okay. Recent changes. I hope you're aware of the recent changes. They came from September 21 exams. You're going for June 22 exams. So recent changes came from September 21 paper. If you're not yet aware of these recent changes, you can watch the videos I've covered on the recent changes since September 21. Now, I did these videos in September 21. You're preparing for June 22 exams, and these are about the recent changes which came in. And you should be familiar. There are two important changes you should be familiar with. You can just take a look at this on your screen. I've already covered this in my YouTube video, so I will just be sharing a link of that, not wasting time in this webinar. You can see things which have been deleted, things added, deleted, added. So the additions are important. Leave the last one, right? Leave the last one because it's about the computer-based exam. So it's not a syllabus area, basically. It's just telling you about that you now need to give paper on a computer-based platform. So that is the last addition. Leave that out. But look at the additions from here to here, additions and deletions. Now, the most important additions are from the September 21 exams. For the September 21 to June 22 exams this year, there have been few changes to the syllabus. A new learning outcome has been added on managing, monitoring, and mitigating risk, which is known as 4 line of defense. How to mitigate risk, how to manage risk. There has been a new addition to the syllabus known as 4 line of defense. If that terminology comes in the June exam, you should be prepared for it. I've already done a video on 4 line of defense on my YouTube channel, and the hyperlink is given here. That's a short video which guides you about 4 line of defense. But please ensure if you get this terminology in June 22 exam, you should be knowing about it. Next, in addition, a new learning outcome has been added on machine learning, artificial intelligence, and robotics. So a new learning has been added on robotics, artificial intelligence, and robotics. And the best thing is, examining team already wrote an article on this new learning. So I didn't conducted a video of that, but rather this is over here, right? Please read this article, which focus on the syllabus change written by the examining team ahead of the September 21 exams, the word of intelligent agent. So the syllabus changes which have come in artificial intelligence, data analytics, and robotics has been covered by the examiner in the article known as the world of intelligent agent. And you should be knowing about it. And the hyperlink of the article is given there. And I can show this article to you on the website as well. I hope you can see the technical articles on your screen. And you go to the technical articles for technology and data analytics, syllabus area E, and you will see this. Can you all see the world of intelligent agent, the first article here on your screen? Please ensure you read it. Must to read it. So please ensure you read it. So one thing is a 4 line of defense, and one is a world of intelligent agent, right? So these are 2 reinforcing things which you should be knowing. Changes you should know. So number 1, the 4 line of defense, the new management approach to risk management. And next is artificial intelligence, robotics, and machine learning. A new article was published for syllabus changes in September 21. Applicable from September 21 onwards. So you should be knowing about it. I've already given you the link of the article, and the 4 line of defense is the video I have on my YouTube channel. There is a video for that on my YouTube channel, so you can watch it. The hyperlink of that is in the presentation. But these are the two things you should be critical of while you're preparing yourself for the upcoming exams in June, and you're not ignoring them at any cost. Okay, moving back to the recent changes, one important thing, there was a model which is known as the ALAP model and the Tucker 5-question model. Can you see this here? Tucker 5-question model on your screen? Tucker 5-question model, right? And can you see on your screen ALAP model, A-L-A-R-P, ALAP, ALAP, right? ALAP was a model which is deleted from the syllabus. So if you have learned it or you know about it, just forget it. And there is a model known as Tucker 5-question model. If you know about it, just simply delete it from your mindset. But now the important thing is that when you look at the Dr. Dinu 100 series, where is the Dr. Dinu 100 series? In the Dr. Dinu 100 series, if you look here, wherever Dr. Dinu is talking about Tucker, you will simply ignore Tucker, right? Because Tucker is a deleted model. Are you fine with it? Right? So wherever you see the Tucker model in Dr. Dinu series, you will ignore it. Clear? So you have the Tucker on page number 17 of the Dr. Dinu. You have Tucker on page number 39 of the Dr. Dinu in the 100 areas. And you have on Dr. Dinu on page number 1111. So these 3 pages have Tucker in Dr. Dinu, ignore them. And the next thing is ALAP, A-L-A-R-P. On the page number 39, you have about ALAP in the 100 index, leave that out. Then you have ALAP on page number 81, leave it out. Then you have ALAP on page number 81, that's fine, right? So the pages you will be ignoring from Dr. Dinu. Please remember that Tucker model and ALAP model are deleted from the syllabus starting September 21. So when revising Dr. Dinu 100 series, ignore the page numbers 17, 39. Ignore the page numbers 17, 111, 17, 81, and 111. Or wherever you find something about Tucker or ALAP. Is that clear to all of you? So something has been deleted. Please ensure you're not going over it, because that deletion itself is extremely important, right? Yes. On page 39, there is a 100 index list, right? So I cannot just say don't read page number 39. It will send a very wrong message. That's like extremely important. Just let me show you that. If I say don't read the page number 39, then the page number 39 consists of so many models, right? So on the page number 39, don't think about ALAP here, right? ALAP and Tucker, right? The rest you can read all. So I think from 100 minus 2, 98. So you have total 98 theories and models to cover, minus Tucker and ALAP. I hope you're all clear with this understanding, right? Okay, so what we were discussing the changes in the syllabus area, right? So please ensure you do watch my 4-line of defense video on the YouTube, which is right here. And number 2, for the changes in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics, you are reading the article, The World of Intelligent Agent. The hyperlink is right here, right? Okay, the key resource library, finally. Now, the day 1 folder, which I will be sharing with all of you, will contain this 4 things. The day one folder will contain importance of effective communication in SBL, an article looking into the formats. I hope you know about it. This is an article written by the examining team and which consists of all the formats. So I've put in the Google Drive a document with the title of formats. So that covers all the formats you have in your paper. Number one, the Google Drive covers 10 things to learn from SBL September 2018 exam. This is a wonderful article, and I always recommend students to read it because September 28 was the first exam sitting. So examiner wrote an article that what we should learn from September 2018, what student did wrong. So this is a good article if you can spend time on that. 10 things to learn from September 2018 exams. Then the Dr. Dinu 100 series. I put this on my Google Drive, so you know how important it is. And finally, an advice from the examining team. There is an article which is an advice from the examining team that how you should read and plan and write the answer. That is, I think, a 4-page article, but that's a good article which tells us how to read, how to write, how to plan. So I have also put that in the Google Drive, and also the Word file which I was using today. I will be putting this in the Google Drive as well every day, right? Apart from that, the key resources, my December 21 webinar. If you want to use that at this link, if you've not yet utilized the December 21 webinar, ACCA has put a lot of good videos on commercial acumen, evaluation, skepticism, the 5 professional skills, right? If you want to watch the videos on 5 professional skills by ACCA, they are at this hyperlink. And CBE exam technique, how you should make use of the word processor or scratch pad or highlighter, that is right here. But again, I will be guiding you about the word processor, the scratch pad, the calculator, the highlighters on day 2 and day 3, so don't worry about it. But the Google Drive consists of the resources which are important and you should be utilizing them. And let me show you the Google Drive for the sake of your relevance, because you will be getting this after the session ends today. Can you see in front of your screen the Google Drive for day Google Drive here? Right. So can you see here the 5 days folder? Right. Day 1. So when after the session today, when I share this with you in the day 1, you will find all the resources I recommended you, and including my Word file. Currently, the day 2 and day 5, all of them will be empty. I keep filling day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 every day when I conduct the webinar. But currently, you will find resources in only the day 1 folder, and the rest of the folder keeps updating every single day. So that's where all the resources will be for your ease and convenience, right? I hope you're clear with it, all of you. Okay, that's great. Just wrapping up things now, moving towards my PowerPoint presentation. And that brings us to the end of the day 1 agenda. I think the key learnings from the day 1 today, if we just make a quick recap, and then we know we have important agenda coming for day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, where we will be more specific into exam papers. Now, the key learnings, before I take on your Q&As, the key learnings from day 1 was that how you should devise a study strategy for the upcoming exam in the time left now, which is like 12 to 13 days. Secondly, I did mention a strategy with you, which consists of 3 recent papers, 3 examiner reports, 1 mock exam, and the 28 articles. Then we discussed a lot of tips and techniques in between our discussions on the main areas. Dr. Dinu was a very important recommendation today from the webinar, which is to be reinforced, where you need to take a printout of it, and you need to ensure that you are revising the summaries and models, because if you go with Dr. Dinu 100 series, at least you will have a very good summary on hand, and you need not to get to the BPP and Kaplan books at this point in time. So you will have a wonderful resource on hand and you can revise, and at least you can do the box ticking from the Dr. Dinu 100 series, and you know, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. So there was a summary given in the Dr. Dinu series, right? So you can take a printout of that summary and say, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, and that will help you prepare in a better manner. And again, the key resources which you should be using, so on and so forth. Now, a lot more coming up on day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. We have specific agendas, which has been spelled out today. I hope you liked the day 1 of this SBL webinar to success. I hope you benefited this. I will be sharing the access of the Google Drive on the WhatsApp group wherever you are, and I will be putting the access of the Google Drive on my Facebook. Every social media channel, I will be putting the Google Drive access, so you're not worried about how to access the Google Drive in the WhatsApp groups of SPL, on my Facebook, on my Instagram. So everywhere you get access to that. I hope you're clear with that, right? Yes, it is recommendable that when you're coming for day 2 and day 3, you should ideally read the September-December 21 questions, because that will save my time. So when you're coming for a live session day 2 and live session day 3, it is very, very good that you do read September-December 21 question before coming to the webinar. How was the webinar today? Did you really benefited from it? If you're not on the WhatsApp group, then you can simply WhatsApp me. I'm just sharing my WhatsApp number. So if anyone is not on the WhatsApp group, you can WhatsApp me and I'll put you in the WhatsApp group. I hope you're all in the WhatsApp group, whether it is my registered students or you are my unregistered student. You must be on a WhatsApp group. How did you came to know about this webinar? Okay, you can WhatsApp me, right? I can put you in the WhatsApp group, right? Thank you. Okay, now I hope it was a good session for all of you. You must have benefited. The time you spent today in the live webinar was of no regrets for you. I hope you did not regret it joining the live webinar. Yes, the changes are part of the YouTube videos, right? So my purpose was to guide you about the changes, and already done the videos on the changes, right? So changes are on my YouTube channel, the 4 line of defense. And for the other change, there is an article. Okay, thank you so much. If it was worth attending and you didn't regret it joining the live session, thank you so much. I hope the learnings you got from today will be helping you in the next 12 to 13 days ahead of your exams. And I hope it did provided you the right motivation and the right optimism, which you should be using in the next few days ahead of your exams, right? So that is it. I'll meet you back tomorrow. If there is any change of schedules, I'll update you accordingly. But so far, the day 2 is on agenda and on timetable as per the timetable. But any changes, any unforeseen circumstances, I'll be updating you of that. But take good care of yourself, study effectively. This is your tutor, Kashif Kamran, signing off from the SBL Webinar to Success Day 1. And I'll see you back with the other days to come. Take care, goodbye, and Allah Hafiz.